Right. You know it's the countdown.
Right, my stomach just left me.
Remember, any question we doing is I'm tying it to an age and a name and a city or state.
Okay.
Welcome everybody. This is your friend Dr. Sam. Good morning or good evening, America. Good morning, world, and welcome to our exclusive roundtable. Today we talk about credit, money, and relationship. Boy, I know some of y'all need some advice, some word with credit, especially credit and money and relationship. We got some powerhouses here today to discuss this. This is a wonderful thing. This is a DreamSquad, a Mallette Media Group production. And this is our first one we do on this. To my, should I go left or right? Which one? Do y'all mind?
No,
y'all mind?
Not at all.
You introduce yourself. This is Miss Tori.
Hi, my name is Toni Murphy, and I'm the owner of...
I'm sorry, let me tell y'all something.
Where's our
I see her name, and I still call her Tori. I know her name, Toni. I talked on the phone yesterday. Go ahead, guys.
My name is Toni, T-O-N-I. Last name Murphy. I'm the owner of Top Style Branding, where we focus on image consulting and personal brand building.
Yes.
And the young lady in blue.
That would be me. My name is Melody Smith today.
Today.
That's a sidebar. No.
Y'all get in on that
Y'all get later. Shout out to my husband. I am the CEO of DreamSquad Financial Solutions, what we always say, dream big. And what I am is a credit coach, not a financial coach, but a credit coach. I help folks build their credit score so that they can achieve their dreams. And also I help businesses obtain business credit, which is totally separate from your personal credit. That's what we do, Dr. Sam.
And right now, just to let you guys know, we're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and Vimo or Vimo, however y'all. Sometimes I get it mixed. I know how to spell it. It's a Vimo. That's close enough. Y'all know what it is. We streaming there. So we doing this live now. We're gonna be here for 1 hour. If we get real excited, real good, we might even go over just a little bit. But we want to be a blessing to people out there that have to do with credit, money, relationships. So one thing I always said, and have said most of my life, the two things you would deal with all of your life, from birth to death, is money and relationship. The funny thing is about it, a lot of times our educational system, we don't really put an emphasis on learning how money works. And we really don't put an emphasis on relationships. But we're going to talk about that today, all of that. We're going to talk about branding, how to brand yourself. You know, I'm branding myself today, because my hair not together, but I'm glad I got the front shot. Look at the Lord. Look at the Lord. Look at the Lord.
They got for camera angles.
So today we're going to get started. We got questions from people all over the country that had questions about credit, money, relationships, and branding. And we just going to flow. If you have any question yourself, you can go on any of those live streams, preferably probably Facebook. Most of you guys are watching. And just download what your question is. Go right on there and say what it is. If it's something we can answer, we will. If not, we'll just tell you we'll get back at you. Because you don't get no answer we don't know about. So the ladies and myself, we have questions that people have already asked us, whether it's been in our profession, and then there's questions that people, that we want to put out there for you today. So the first thing I'm gonna start with Miss Toni.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna give her a branding question, because one of the things about branding is whether you start a business or you want a better self-image and stuff. Most people are into branding. Branding is a hot word. I mean, people write books about it and everything. So, Miss Toni, what the first question we have? Questions. I left my sheet, but I remember pretty good. Mary from New York City, 26 years old. She wants to start her own business, and she wants to know what is the first thing she should do as far as branding her business.
Okay. Well, first, if she has the name, obviously, the first thing is defining what her target audience is going to be. What are you gearing towards? Who are you going for? Women, men, what age, what ethnicity? Those things are very important, because that all goes into later on when you actually start defining your brand identity and things of that nature. So the first thing first, who is your target audience? If you get that down, then you start to have the fun part, like the logo creation, the website development. You get into more sort of what your image and your visual brand would be after defining what your target audience would be, because that helps somebody like me, a brand coach, understand where we can go visually with your brand. So
Man, that's good. So
That
did she? That is deep. Did you write
Hi,
that down?
Mary.
Yeah, did you write that down? She come back. We just gonna be flowing here with some questions.
Right. I like that.
Miss Melanie here, who does something that a lot of people don't do, especially in the mid-sized market like this Toledo area, and that's deal with business credit.
Right.
You trying to
That's so
start a
true.
business. So Melanie, what's the first thing? The reason we starting with the 101 because you need to know that first before you get deep. What's the first thing, or why should, let me ask you that.
Okay.
If you get a business,
Mhm.
why should you establish business and credit, and what would you necessarily need it for?
Well, one thing you don't want to do, Dr. Sam, is mix your personal credit with your business credit. Now, eventually, you'll have to do that when you start getting the high-end numbers. You know, the loans when they're gonna want a PG, a personal guarantee.
Yeah.
You start asking for 500,000, 150,000, they're gonna ask for that PG, which is a personal guarantee. But to answer your question, that's one reason why you wanna separate the two. Business credit is basically credit that shows that the business is able to stand on its own. It's credible, and lenders look at it as credible, they can stand on their own. The business is good with its name only, not with the consumer's name. Yes.
One thing I noticed that Melanie is always mentioned, I've heard her say it quite a bit, that the good thing if you're gonna indulge in business credit is that what you only have to pay back what you use versus with a loan, where you really paying that loan. Can you talk about that a little bit? I don't think most people know that.
Okay, well, it depends, because with business credit, you can get a line of credit, you can get credit cards, you can get vendor's credit, which is 30, 60, 90 days where you would have to pay back the vendor, the entire balance within those times. As the difference is a line of credit versus a credit card. With a credit card, you have a set credit limit. You only pay back what you spend of that limit. But when you get a loan, say if you get a loan for $50,000, you have to immediately start paying back on that $50,000 loan versus a $50,000 credit card. You just pay what you use, and you have the rest left over. I prefer the credit. Personally, I like the credit card.
Yeah.
But because you pay what you use.
Only bad part.
Percentage rate is different. It's usually lower.
The bad part, you guys got to pay it back. That did hurt a little bit, y'all. For those of you that paying on stuff, y'all know the feeling. You should lift your hand and say, thank you, Lord.
Thank you. For those who know him. All right. Y'all know we crazy. This is exclusive round table discussion. One
of the things that I notice in business, and especially when dealing with money and relationships, not just relationship with business, but relationships in your relationships. And when it comes to money, it's very key, whether you're branding your business, whether you're building credit, is that money is something that you really have to take control of. You really do. Money, see, people, for those of you, the Christians who pretend like Christians, you already know. It's that money is the root of all evil, but money, that's not true at all. Well, that's a misunderstanding. It's not, because money is neither good nor evil. Money does what it's told to do. So if you have quite a bit of money and you making good money and your money not doing what it needs to do, that's because you not communicating with your money properly. Like you want to go to the Bahamas, it's gonna cost $2,000. You need to tell your money, look, we need to get $2,000. I need to go to the Bahamas. So it's very important, especially in relationships. And I pass this on again to the ladies. When it gets to money and relationships, it is a little hard. It's easier when you're single because you ain't got to answer to nobody. When you're married, though, you gotta ask some questions you don't want to ask.
Right.
And answers you don't want to hear.
You want to give explanations to credit card statements that you don't have an explanation.
Man, I tell you, Tori, when Toni, Lord have mercy. I am like, every time I look at her, I see Tori. That's not it, y'all. Toni, you see my eyes red because she punched me in it for not getting her name right, but I believe in God I'll get it right. Toni, one of the things about branding, see, I got it right.
Yeah.
About branding, I would like you to explain how do you connect branding to, how do you know when your branding is successful or you're getting results from it?
That is a really good question.
Thank you.
That's a really good question.
Back here.
Does that Mary still somebody else, Lord bless them?
I don't necessarily want to say when people start to recognize it, because technically that's what your ultimate goal is for people to start recognizing, what you're pushing out to the universe, technically you want that to start coming back to you. So like for me, I started hosting events because initially I wanted to be a host, and I started blogging because initially I wanted to write my first book, which comes out in January. Just like,
Congratulations.
But you just start to, when you start to push out things and that you really want to do in life, and people start to recognize, and you start to get the bookings, and you start receiving those emails, and social media starts to take notice. That's when you can kind of say or sit back to yourself and say, okay, I'm doing something right. People are noticing what I'm doing, and maybe I am in the right industry, in the right place, in the right time. But at the same time, just think of it, numbers don't lie. So like for me, I do blogs, I do videos, numbers don't lie. People are watching me, people are reading my things. So that means that it's something about me and my brand that people want to know.
Does that help?
Yeah, excellent.
Mr. D said it helped. For those of y'all that know Mr. D, he in the building, just to let you ladies know. But I'm gonna leave that there, because this is not his show.
Mr. D, you get your show later.
It gotta be real dark in here with one couple of candles,
Lord.
and with a silk robe on.
Oh my goodness.
I missed it. I don't know who that is.
Let's find out what we on the air.
Okay.
Melody, one of the things that
Exclusive round, y'all.
exclusive.
This
You got
live, so
some
anything
exclusive
going right
Yeah,
now.
right there.
Anything going.
One of the things, when it comes to credit, and because it's so many areas. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me do this. There's so many areas, so many questions I have. Give me one of the questions one of the people normally ask you when you consulting them about credit. Like, give me a question they've asked you.
I just got this question. I get it quite often. I just got it on LinkedIn. I think it was last night. How long does it take to fix your credit?
Ooh,
I get that often, but that just sparked it again in me.
that's a
Just like
good
that last
question.
night. It depends on your circumstances. Some folks' circumstances are more extensive than others. That's why I get questions about bankruptcies too. You shouldn't always go to file for bankruptcy until you really look at your credit report and get an expert to look at it. So it just depends on the circumstances. Normally, maybe 6 months. If it's not really damaged credit, it could be maybe 4 months, because the bureaus have 30 to 45 days to give you a first answer.
So, like,
it's
say,
by law.
for example, if it's 6
So 6
months,
to 8 months.
it'll be what? My credit score to make it that long, or that and everything else I got going on wrong?
Well, you're gonna be everything, because you're gonna look at it and you're gonna dispute what's inaccurate on there, So it just depends how many, you may have I have some people, I have one couple, excuse me for laughing. You know who you are, y'all. All right, I love you though. They had the credit report was like 70-something pages.
Wow.
Each.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Were they older people?
No.
How you get 70 pages
I'm
worth
gonna
of
say
credit?
maybe the 40s, late 30s, early 40s, because of your credit is established from the time you get some type of credit in your name. Whether you buy a car, whether you get a credit card, whether you sign for an apartment, if you buy a house, whatever the case may be. And so they must have started early. Student loans, we're not gonna talk about those. That's a whole nother nightmare for some people. No, they're old loans. So yeah. Oh,
I
I'm
call it
America.
an ultimate hustle
Yes.
between the colleges and the government. That's
It
a whole
is.
nother discussion.
They got a week list. We gonna be out here live too.
Yes,
But did that answer your question? So I say on average, I see 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months, but some people have extreme circumstances where it may take 12 months. It may take 18. If you know what you're doing, you have to be patient. That's one thing. Patience is good. But if you know what you're doing, you can get it done.
All right, good.
Same thing in brand.
Same thing,
I
Brandon?
get that all the time. How long is it gonna take?
Right.
Like, you have to be consistent.
Say that again,
You
sister.
have to be consistent.
You must be consistent.
Yes.
Consistent in what?
With me, it's consistent in the process. Like,
Mhm.
you can't just think that your brand is going to take off in 2 months. Some people it can. There's instances where it can. But to start a brand / business from the ground up, it takes time, it takes consistency, and you have to trust the process.
Yes.
It's the same, when she was talking, I'm like, that's the same thing I tell my clients.
Mhm.
Like, we can get this maybe in 6 months. Other
Right.
clients, it may take a year. And I have a client, she'll be signed to me almost in 2 years. Well, we started from
Is
scratch.
that good?
She's doing a product development.
Oh, okay.
And
Gotcha.
it's
Oh, that's
extensive, it's a
different.
makeup line, you
Yeah.
got skin and body. So that's what I'm saying. It's different levels to
Yeah.
branding and business and credit.
Yeah,
So
it's different levels.
you just gotta trust the process.
You do.
And you absolutely right. I do have a question. One of the people called me, my man Juan, 25 years old from St. Louis, and Juan asked me
Brother
that.
Juan.
I brought the question in before I got here. Juan wants to know, how does he communicate money and get his wife on the same page?
I don't know who that's from.
Juan, you won't. No.
Get the music. We're going to commercial.
No, one of the things, yeah, we'll be right back after
We'll be
this.
right back after
No,
somebody get up off the floor.
one of the most important things, the funny thing about a lot of times in marriage, in relationships, that one is a spender and one is a saver. I don't know why the savers don't get together, let the spenders get together, let them be broke, and let the savers be rich. I don't know why that don't happen, it's always the other one.
Balance,
But,
yeah.
Balance.
forget balance, I wanna be rich, I don't need no.
Oh,
No, but one of the most important things, you have to communicate what is her needs, because a lot of times the way we look at money comes from the way we was raised and how
That's right.
it was taught to us. You know, if you was a saver, you was taught somewhere to save. I seen a young lady a couple of days ago on a morning news. She's 25 years old and she saved $100,000.
Wow.
First of all, they asked her, how much money you make to save $100,000? She said she had 3 jobs. She made about $80,000 a year from the 3 jobs. She said she quit going to the coffee places and buying $5 cups of coffee and all this type of stuff. She just caught that look and just saved and saved. And now, people would say that's extreme, but in reality, that should be the norm.
Yeah.
Right.
But going back to your question, one of the biggest things you have to communicate, find out what her what the happiness point is, what the compromise point is, and the aftermath point. The aftermath is what happens after you get your way and she didn't really like it. And so you have to balance those 3 out, because it's gonna be things, y'all. I got a buddy of mine that I'm gonna be quiet. A buddy of mine yesterday told me he just bought his son a BMW. His wife is furious because the boy is 16.
Oh, my
So he showed me the car. I told him I'm furious
Yeah.
because the boy is 16.
Right.
And so situations like that, I told her it would just be wise to get him that Ford Escape over there.
Right.
Just wait till you get older, give it, because it ain't worth it, because you don't sleep next to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so why you just have to get a balance. You have to sit down, communicate, find out what her needs and wants are, balance them out with you guys, yours, and you guys should be fine.
Can I interject something?
Sure, that's all.
And do that before you get married.
Oh, yes. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Before you
Do
get
that
married.
before you
Well, you
get
probably
married.
gonna get another woman then.
Is it? You talking about wine?
Oh, you talking about in general? I know we talking about wine. Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. You know what? Okay, I got you. Wine, man. Okay, I'm doing that. Like, wow, okay, wine. I got you. Wine, cool.
Future people that want to get
Future
married.
people. Okay, I got
Talk.
this.
Talk.
Yeah,
Actually,
establish
yeah.
these things. Get counseling.
Yeah, you get counseling because money. Let me tell you something about money. I'm telling you, when you took that money relationship thing, that's serious. It's God,
That's right.
then money, then you guys. Money is before you. If you don't agree in the vicinity of those 2 areas, you probably not gonna make it.
I agree.
You
Yeah.
just not, because money. Me personally, I'll fiercely battle over dough, because I know what I want to do with it.
Right.
You know, so I'm like,
But you're not single.
no.
Hi, lady.
But
That's a good question, Brother Juan.
yeah, that's a good question. Toni, what's some of the questions you have? Because you got a pad there with something on it.
yeah,
I was trying to look at
yeah.
it. It looked like I was nosy, but it didn't work.
No, sure. So on Instagram, Tracy _ Smith had asked me how does she build connections, which I get asked that question a lot. And to me, the best way to build connections is to network. You have to be out there in order to meet people, in order to be around those group of people that are going to help you build your brand and or any type of thing. If you want to meet a guy, you got to go out there and meet him. You can't meet him well, technically you can't because you got online dating, but
amen.
you want to go out and meet people, and connect with them, build those conversations, build those relationships. Emailing, I have gotten so many like opportunities from literally researching people, emailing them, reaching out to them, telling them what my goals are, what my aspirations are, how I can benefit them. If you are reaching out to someone and you want to work with them, you have to tell them how can you benefit them. Don't always want something from them. That's something big that I learned too, because I answer when I know you're going to benefit me in some way. If I'm doing 1 million things in a day, why should I take my time out and spend, this extra hour, 2 hours a day with you when I got all this going on? Okay, because you're going to benefit me as well as me benefiting you. Like, it has to be some type of vice versa communication going on, benefit. So the biggest thing I would say is you have to get yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there first. Like, then we can, critique it along the way. But if you don't put yourself out there, nothing's going to come back to you.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, one of the things which Toni is right on, you kind of got to go in the mindset of what are you going to give to receive.
Yeah.
We always, whether it's business or personal stuff, it's that gimme mentality. Nobody can give me a nothing.
Yeah,
But Jesus and ask for salvation on the street.
Yeah, and a headache, and you give people a headache, they give you a headache.
Yeah.
But you have to be about your business, and you really have to take things one at a time. Like one of the things I've learned and still learning is how to prioritize things that need to be done. Like, and where should the money go? What's the biggest priority? Because in business, and you ladies know this, priority could be this cup. At 5 o'clock, at 5:10, it could be that computer. So you got to be really steady and stuff and find out what it is, consistency, and what you're doing, and really have a goal. I call it a thesis statement, for your business, and know where you want to go and how you want to go, and then stick to it and make wise decisions. I want to throw that in there. That is crucial, making wise decisions in business, so you don't waste a lot of time. You're just like I would tell Toni, like, man, the email thing is good. I'm trying to get more time to do it, but I got. I mean, it works. It works because email is so easy to do. You just need time to sit down. And me, I just, I hate, what's the word I'm looking for? Start with an R.
Give us a hint.
Yeah.
R. Right.
The stuff you don't really want to do, but you have tedious. Start with R.
No,
tedious. I don't, me personally, I'm telling y'all this, I'm open, I'm sorry, it's an R. It's an R word I'm looking for, but I moved to the T.
Okay.
So, tedious stuff. A person like me, I don't like that little stuff. I feel like it gotta be done.
Yes.
Like I'm using email, for example. That has to be done.
Right. Yes.
But I really don't want to do it, even though it's easy, but it's gonna take my time. I always feel like I'm losing time. So I'm saying that to say this: one of the things you have to identify, whether it's credit or money, or branding and relationships, your weaknesses and your strengths, and don't really waste time trying to build your weaknesses if you can get somebody else's strength to cover that.
Right. Because you don't want to work you want to work your business.
Right.
You don't want to just work in the business.
Right.
You want to work it and let it work for you.
And delegate. When you get in that position, delegate. Now, if you start off, you have to delegate to yourself. Delegate to yourself.
Do what you got to do.
But if you build it, delegate, man. Do not be scared to hand stuff over to people that's better at it than you.
Yeah.
I'm not scared at all.
I'm not either.
I am the man to go.
You need a job.
You better do that job. You better do that job right. I'm gonna be saying. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna be saying something. I like stuff. That's just me, and then I'm shut up. Let y'all be.
Oh, that's funny.
I like stuff done quick and done right.
Yeah.
I like stuff done right.
Spirit of excellence.
Even if you take a little time, if you don't do it right, see now we got a problem. We got a problem.
And I probably won't work with you again. But when you said that, like giving other people delegating within my company, that was the hardest thing for me because it was something that I started from nothing.
It's your baby.
Yes, and it's like, and I'm sitting here like, ooh, I'm trying to do everything stressed. I was telling her my shoulders was up here, like.
She just got back from Fort Lauderdale.
That was
in Miami.
That was so hard for me to say, you know what, I'm great at emailing, following up, leads.
So you can email for me?
Yeah, that's what I do for my clients.
I need an email.
Yeah.
Like, can you cover like 5,000 emails in a day?
You can do it through different software too.
Yes, you can, but oh my
See,
God.
but I'm not gonna, I ain't got time.
For the software, you don't got
I
time
think
for
that's
software.
on the Lord.
But I mean, that's what
I
I
got time, B. I don't have time.
Y'all
Quit
can't
saying,
see the
hey,
gentleman
I
in
do
the,
not have
shadows.
time. Go ahead, I'm
No,
sorry.
that's
bro.
what I do. Like,
Yes.
I do PR as well. So all those tedious things that my clients don't like to do,
Right.
within my it's been listed on my especially it was literally give about that.
One of the things when and business and family time. I appreciate when I have every you move on. Heard from the Lord is he I really want to encourage business when you yeah.
And still talk to them, and you're talking to them in inbox, you're talking on the phone, and a lot of time has when actually you people into you dream big.
Time I have. Okay, good. Give me hand signal. One talk about is once you get the credit, pray Toni. I'm believing. I'm just saying, I don't see how. I need to cut down to 50.
Software out there, matter of programming it.